Hello, everybody. It is Tuesday, March 24th. This is your Tuesday, March 24th lesson. And the first thing that I want you to do, if you already haven't done it, is to watch the video called Powers of 10 and to complete the Google Doc, which has got 5 questions in it from the video Powers of 10. It's going to review everything that you did yesterday. Okay, so if you haven't done that, please do that now before watching this lesson. All right, everybody. So what you learned yesterday was called the Powers of 10, and I hope you really enjoyed that video. And what we're going to start today is called scientific notation, which is going to use what you learned yesterday about the powers of 10. So before we get started with scientific notation, please make sure that you've opened up this Google document. This is the Google Scientific Notation Guided Notes and Assignment. This is what you're going to be turning into me today, in addition to the other Google document with the questions for the Powers of 10 video. All right, so as we begin our conversation about scientific notation, there's 2 terms we're going to be using in this content area, and those terms are scientific notation and standard notation. So if we start with standard notation, okay, standard notation is the normal way that we write our numbers, okay, the normal way that we write our numbers. So you should be completing these guided notes along with me because you're going to turn these in with your assignment for a grade. All right, so for example, when we look at the normal way that we write our numbers, we have the number 3,000. So if we were going to write that in standard form, we would simply type 3,000, okay? And for 2,800, same thing. If we were going to do that in standard form, we would type 2,800. And for 280 million, same thing, we would just type it in standard form. So we'd write 280, and then that's going to be 6 zeros. Now, I'd recommend as we do this, if you need the graphic organizer that we made yesterday on Powers of 10, the Google slide, that you would have that opened and available for viewing, because that will definitely help you as we do this, okay? So standard notation is the normal way that we write our numbers, all right? So scientific notation then is going to be and here we're going to put a shortened way of writing really large or really small numbers. In scientific notation, a number is written as the product, is what we want to put here, the product. And so product indicates multiplication. So it's going to be the product of 2 factors. All right? That's what scientific notation is going to be, the product of 2 factors. So the 2 factors are going to be, one factor will be a decimal, and the other factor is going to be a power of 10. So that's where those powers of 10 that you saw in the video and the powers of 10 that we learned yesterday are going to start being used, is as we do scientific notation. So I've got 3 steps for how we're going to do this. The first step is we're going to insert a decimal point. The second step is we move the decimal to the left until one number is to the left of the decimal. And then the third step is we're going to write one factor as a decimal and the other as a power of 10. All right, so here's how we're going to do this. Let's start with the number 3,000. Okay, now I'm going to show you something that you can use, and it might make your work easier to do on a Google document. If not, you're more than welcome to write these out in pencil and paper and take a photo or scan and upload it to Google document. But what you can use here is the equation tool to do these. So for example, I have the number 3,000. So if I come to here where it says insert and I click on equation, See how it creates a little cell there? So I'm going to type the number 3, because what I do is I insert my decimal point here, and then I'm going to move it 3 places to the left until I have one number to the left of it. So here's my decimal point, 1, 2, 3. So I'm 3 places to the left of it. So that's going to be 3.0. Okay. Now, if you come right up here, you see here it says miscellaneous operations. You can click there and get the little multiplication symbol. So 3.0 times, and then I'm going to type the number 10, because remember, I'm writing one factor as a decimal. So here's my decimal, and the other factor as a power of 10. So there's 10. Then I'm going to use the shift of 6, like I did yesterday, to create an exponent. And then I'm going to type the exponent 3. And the reason I'm going to type the exponent 3 is because, again, if you look at that graphic organizer, 10 to the third power is the thousandths position. And that's also how many places or numbers I moved my decimal to get one number to the left. Okay? So my decimal was inserted here. 1, 2, 3. 3 to the left. All right? And I always insert my decimal at the end of the number. All right? So if I have 2,800, same thing. I'm going to insert my decimal point. Then I will come up here to insert equation. And I'm going to move how many places to the left until there's one number to the left? 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to put 2.8, and I'm going to keep my 8 because this is what I call a significant digit. So I'm going to keep that 8 in there. Come up here to the miscellaneous operations. Multiply, type the number 10, shift of 6, and then I moved 3 places again, so I'm going to type a 3. And that's the number in scientific notation. Now, if I come down here to this number, 280 million, all right, I'm going to do the same thing, insert my decimal point. Then I will come up here to my equation tool, insert equation. Now let's see how far I move this until I have one number to the left. So if I start here and I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's going to be 2.8. And there again, I keep the 8 because that's what I consider to be a significant digit. Come up here times 10, shift of 6 to get that exponent, and then I put the 8. Now, one thing to think about is if you're using that powers of 10 chart that we made yesterday, if you look at a number like 280 million, it's pretty simple. You could just look right on that chart and go, wow, I'm going to move that 8 places and my number's going to be 10 to the 8th. So use that chart if you need to. Okay? So those are some examples of how we do scientific notation. So what you're going to do, and I will do the first 2 of these for you, and then you can do the rest on your own, is you're going to write the following numbers in scientific notation. So I have the number here at 245. So I'm going to come right up here, and I'm going to insert the equation. Okay. And I have a 2. Now, I always want to put my decimal point in. So I put my decimal in, and I move 2 places to the left. So 1, 2. So that's going to be 2.45. And I keep those numbers because those are significant digits. Times 10. And then caret key, shift of 6. And I put the exponent 2. So 2.45 times 10 to the second power. 1, 2. All right, if I come down to my next one, I have 3,245. So same thing, insert your decimal point. And then I come up here and insert equation. So I start here, I move 1, 2, 3 to the left. So I've got one number to the left of there, so 3.245. And I keep those numbers because those are significant digits. Come up here to miscellaneous operations times. At the number 10, and then how many places did I move my decimal? I moved the decimal 3 places. So shift of 6, 3. And my answer to that one is going to be 3 and 245 thousandths times 10 to the third. All right, so then I've got here 10,800. So same thing, I insert my decimal point, and I move it 1, 2, 3, 4 positions. So here I'll put insert equation 1.08 times 10 shift 6 to the fourth power. Okay, so you get to finish the rest of them on this page here. Obviously, if you need some help, feel free to send me a message on Google Classroom, and I will gladly help you with this. Once you're done for the day, you should be submitting to me 2 documents. The first document is going to be the questions that you've answered from the video, Powers of 10. And then the second document is going to be this one here, where you've turned these into scientific notation. And like I said earlier, if you would rather not, if it's too cumbersome for you to use this equation tool, then you can simply write it on paper and turn it into me that way, but you still have to submit your guided notes as well, because your entire grade for the day is based on your guided notes and the work that you do down here. All right, so again, send me a message if you have any questions. And before we go, our launch statement for the day is we rise by lifting others. We rise by lifting others. Have a great day, and I will talk to you tomorrow.